Hey everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm Christy Fields, and I am here to share with you and my friend Hannah Moore. We are going to talk to you a little bit about navigating the holidays, as this can be kind of a scary time for you by trying to stay on plan and trying to figure out what you can do. Again, I'm Christy. I am a health coach here on Team Golf, and I have been a registered nurse for the last 17 and a half years downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. I started a program a year ago, and I maintained a 75-pound weight loss and over 100 inches gone since June. I survived all of the holidays last year, so that's why we want to get on here and share with you some tips. I have my friend and client and coach, Hannah Moore, who's going to introduce herself here as well.
Hi, everyone. My name's Hannah. I'm also a registered nurse. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. Christy is my amazing coach. I started program in December of 2019 and lost about 65 pounds on program. I transitioned and am down about 71 pounds now since I started with Optavia. Another awesome thing for me was that I started program right before the holidays hit. So I was excited and felt honored to come on here and speak with Team Golf today about how to navigate the holidays and not to let any progress that you have while you're on program derail you.
So I'm going to share my screen here to show you a little bit of things that we've put together for you. Let me get to that spot. Okay, so again, we're going to be talking about navigating the holidays, and I'm going to kick to Hannah here to talk about this first slide.
Yeah, one thing that I learned on program, especially that was important to me, was the mindset shift and realizing that when we're celebrating, it becomes more about the people and the people we're around, especially in this season of COVID. It's so important that, we stay healthy, our loved ones stay healthy, and being around those people and enjoying that time. Also realizing it's not about the food. And then we can kind of shift from that area and see that we are free to truly enjoy ourselves and we don't have to focus on just eating these huge meals. It's so much more than that. So, how many holiday meals are we really talking about? As of 11/17, we're talking about 45 days left of our year. So, 6 healthy meal choices per day equals 270 meal choices. And how many holiday meals are we talking about? We've got Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas party, Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day, and also football season. It's important that we do not delay our program or blame 6 meals and give up on the other 264 meals that we have to the end of the year.
So we really just want to give you some helpful tips and tricks to surviving the holidays and staying on program. Really, the best thing that you can do is to not go hungry. Stick to your normal fueling times and be ready for this. Be prepared and plan ahead. So if that means you need to reach out to the person that's hosting Thanksgiving, or even better, if you're hosting, you have a little more control over what you're having. But reach out to them to make sure that they're going to have options that you can bring, so you know whether you need to bring something else or that you'll be fine when you get there. So we really want you to use a smaller plate to avoid the portion distortion. So we are, notoriously, there's always these huge plates at Thanksgiving, so everyone can load them up. So if we get a big plate like that, we're going to look like we're not getting very much. So get a smaller plate, fill it with your meat and veggies first, and then you can feel like you're getting the same amount as everyone else. But I'm going to kick to Hannah real quick. She wants to talk to you a little bit about the meat and veggies and your water from the Habits of Health book, from what Dr. A tells us to do.
Yes. So it starts on page 275 in your Habits of Health book. So this book right here is amazing. Dr. Anderson pretty much sets up for us, how to eat for life. So the chapter 2.6 is called Building Healthy Meal Plans for Optimal Health and How to Make Healthy Eating Automatic. So there's great samples here on what the plate system looks like. So working on those portions of meat and proteins. And then when you're further on in your journey and you're optimizing your health, how to add in those healthy grains and fruit servings and vegetables. So when I was on program during Christmas, what I did was I looked to see on my plate where I could fit my meats. So I did about 25% of my plate meats, and then I did the other 50% vegetables. The other thing that helped me a lot was doing my meat and vegetables first, drinking my water, and then I had my favorite fueling, my dessert fueling packed, so that I set myself up for success. It's also important to note, we have to really change our focus. And Dr. Anderson wrote this in the book, and it says, in an instant gratification society, we think of weight loss as a destination. In fact, weight loss is really just a first step. Optimal health is a journey, and this requires a reorientation from merely hoping to lose weight to creating health by allowing our minds and bodies to work together. This is different than focusing on weight loss alone. So for me, going into the holidays, it was a huge non-scale victory for me to be able to stay on program during the holidays. I told myself, I can do this. I reached out to my coach and I said, I want to stay 100% on program during the holidays. I don't want to, be set back by having a couple slips. And for me, that was such a powerful, powerful thing to be able to do. And later on in the slideshow, we'll kind of show some progress I made with photos staying on program during the holidays. So I think it's important to just remember, you can do this. Reach out to your coaching team, and they will help you navigate through this. Don't feel like you can't enjoy the holidays because you are on a nutrition program. There's so many options that you can do. And honestly, this is not meant to be a quick fix. It's not a diet. So navigating the holidays now and realizing that you can do this, every holiday just gets easier and easier and easier. And this year, I'm bringing 4 lean and greens for my holidays, for my family. And I want to do that because I'm setting myself up for success and to be prepared, and so that I won't feel like I have to miss out on anything.
Yeah, thanks, Hannah. The other thing is you don't have to give up on your favorites. We just need to modify them to make them healthier options for us. And we're going to give you a couple samples of that. And then we'll also be posting them in our Transforming the Life page for everyone to have resources to later. But for example, just replacing like we do with maybe spaghetti or pasta, we use zoodles or squash or things like that to help make our meals more healthy options for us to stay on plan. So ask your coaches for help. Like, this is the perfect time to reach out to them. I intend to fully reach out to all of my clients this week and be like, Thanksgiving's next week. Let's have a plan. Are you nervous? What's the plan so that we can just get prepared? Reach out to your spouse and your host of the event just to make sure that there's no peer pressure and you don't feel like you have to eat because you don't want to make someone feel bad. Having that conversation with the host to be like, hey, I am on a healthy journey right now and I need you to understand I might not eat everything, but it's because I am getting healthy and I've done X, Y, and Z already. I know for me last year, it was kind of tough. I was only on program for a couple months at that point. And my brother hosted Thanksgiving for the first time. And they were like, just eat, just do it. It's one day, Christy, come on, those kind of things. And I'm like, guys, I am good. I have my turkey. I have my mashed potatoes that I'm allowed to have on program. And then when they had their pumpkin pie for dessert, I was able to have my brownie and feel like I was, having my treat because our brownies are so delicious. And so it would have been very easy had my why not been big enough for me to go off program at that point and just be like, yeah, why not? It's a holiday, excuse myself. But for me, this wasn't a diet. This was a lifestyle change. This was a goal I was setting up for myself. If you are hosting the holidays, just have a plan to get rid of the leftovers after you're done, to avoid them sitting in your refrigerator and tempting you for the next week to come. And there's also a lot of really great lean and greens that you can use, like leftover turkey and stuff for if you search for those. Bring something of your own that you will know will be plan approved. Like Hannah talked about, she intends to bring 4 things at least that she knows that she's going to be able to have on program and still feel like she's enjoying the holidays. And this is also where I like to mention, bring your feelings with you because there may be a time frame between, the time you get there to the time your meal happens, to football, to dinner later, leftovers. And you want to make sure that you're eating your fuelings and keeping your blood sugar steady. So we're not getting those peaks and valleys with your sugars where you'll be a lot more likely to go off program. Write out your daily schedule because around the holidays, things do get hectic and you get busy, and then just, have a plan for your day every day. And it's really important to make time for your body. So depending on where you're at in your journey, for Hannah and I, we are in this optimal phase where we're trying to continue this lifestyle change forever, not just for this quick fix. So we have both added a lot more exercise into our world. So we want to make sure that we are getting that exercise. We're sleeping, we're drinking our water, we're taking care of our bodies so that we are going to be healthier and happier through all of this. And really just focus on your family, the activities, the events, plan something other than the focus being 100% around that food. And then again, use this time to be role models for all of your family and share with them, because we are living a healthier lifestyle, and people may ask us what we're doing, and they may notice that we've lost a significant amount of weight. For me, like when I saw my family at Thanksgiving, I didn't see them again until February, and they were all like, "Oh my gosh, you look amazing." But because I didn't give in to that peer pressure back in November and December and January, because I lived through all of the holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and again, pre-COVID, usually the holidays, there's tons of food being brought in by each other, by families, like all of these things. And so it was always really tempting to go off program in the hospital. But it's just one of those things you commit to and you keep on going. So I'm going to have Hannah kind of talk through some of these lean and greens here as options.
Yeah, so there's a lot of healthy options for lean and greens. And I personally was on program during Christmas. And so I brought lean and greens, and of course I brought my fuelings. And I hadn't seen my family since I started program. A lot of them were asking me, "What are you doing?" They wanted to know what I brought, and they couldn't believe how delicious the meals were. Especially like my grandmother could not believe that this was mashed cauliflower and gravy. I also made some desserts and stuff like that. So that was neat to be able to share and connect with people about my health journey and say, this is what I'm doing. I've tried so many different things. And just to hear that positive feedback really energized me. I had people kind of like Christy saying, "Are you going to fall off the wagon during the holidays, Hannah?" And I said, "No, I'm permanently on this wagon. I've been trying to be on this wagon for about 15 years of my life. I finally found a program that works. I'm utilizing the system that was set out for me, and I want to stay true to who I am and my goals." So healthy options for lean and greens are a great way to connect during the holidays with your family and feel like you're not missing out. So there's the sage roasted turkey, there's creamy mashed cauliflower and gravy, which I made last year and I'm going to be making this year. If you go to the next slide, there's a couple more. Okay, the green bean casserole I've got written down to make this year, and the cauliflower mac and cheese is a new one that I'm going to try. So the biggest things with these is just to share them, take them. Don't be afraid to take these dishes just because they're not what people call like the traditional Thanksgiving meals or dishes. A lot of people would love to see, what can be possible on this program, and that it's something easy to do. The other thing that I think is important when you're working, or you're in that food line and you're working on your food choices, is one of the biggest things that I've implemented is the Dr. Anderson's method of stop, challenge, and choose. And that's kind of shifted my focus in my marriage, with my children, and especially with my eating. The program is meant to not keep you in a fixed state of 5 and 1. We want to be in 5 and 1 or on program to get us to our healthy weight. And then we want to move into optimal health. So these lean and green options show you, I can do this long term. I can still eat my leans and greens and not feel deprived. So, when you're in this state of being on program during these times, it's important to remember to stop, challenge, and choose. And for me, that's stopping and thinking, okay, is eating this or this living, and am I doing something for future Hannah, or I'm doing something in the now to make myself happy? How is that going to affect me? Am I living for my current self or my future self and my future goals that I'm trying to create? And then I challenge myself. I challenge that thinking. Okay, is this something that I'm really wanting to do? Is this something that's going to benefit me and help me progress towards my goals or move me away from those goals? And that can be with your food, with, marriage, with your relationships, with your children. We tend to be knee-jerk reactions. And if you stop and take a pause and realize what you're doing, you can really help yourself make better choices. And then you're choosing. Are you in control of those choices? Do you feel in control of your eating? And if you do, and you do want to make that choice, then that's fine. But it's all about that stop, challenge, and choose. And so I tell my clients how important that is in the moment to just challenge your thinking and work towards your goals.
Awesome. Thank you, Hannah, so much. And so, yes, I think it's really important as for me as a coach and a client to remember that we can do this and remember your why. This is where it's so important. And that's why we dive in at the very, very beginning of your journey to understand your why. And this has been one of the greatest things that I have learned through this last year is when you know your why, you can endure anyhow. And that's so, so important and so true. And so the thing that we need to remember is if you choose to eat something off program, as long as you are in control, and realize this is not cheating, but you are choosing and making a conscious decision to stop, challenge, and choose, like Hannah talked about, and realize, is this something that is going to benefit me? And remember, what we are not giving up on some of these foods forever. It's just to help us reach our goals and believe us, because we both have hit our goals and we both are where we want to be. How you feel when you reach that goal and how this program changes your life is going to be so much more worth it than how that food's going to taste for a few minutes. I promise you. Ask yourself the following questions. Am I where I want to be in my journey? Is this important to me? And, will this help me reach my ultimate goals or that future Hannah or that future Christy that you want to get to? And I think some of the other things I just want to talk to you about too is remember, this journey is all about progress and not perfection. It's very rare for someone to start on this journey and never, ever want to go off program. Again, what I remind my clients is if you have that happen, you place a road sign so that when something happens, you veer a little bit, you are able to find your way back to that strong fat burn and sticking to a program like you want to be. And if you choose a few things that are not off program, but for the most part, you're remaining on a consistent program otherwise, you just got to remember that you are still going to be better off than what you would have been a year ago if you had no program in your life. So we can't beat ourselves up. We need to focus on the things that are going great. So maybe you chose something small to have, had a few bites of it. We like Dr. A has taught us, those taste sensations and that satisfaction that your brain needs is literally like 2 or 3 bites. After that, it's just not needed. So if there is something that you have to have, keep it small, but don't beat yourself up about it, and be happy by the fact that you're sleeping well or drinking enough water on program. And again, this is the keys to success about creating this new lifestyle that we want. This is, again, not a diet. And it's so important that we get out of that diet mentality, because when we think about diets, it's a stop and an end, an all or nothing. And that is not how Optavia is. This is not an all or nothing program. There are other options. There's other, ways to stay on program. That is not all or nothing. This is a lifestyle change. We really want you to, if you do hit bumps in the road, just think about, what's your why? What do we know? What do we want? And where are we going with this? And remember, it is all about your choices. And we really want to work on that healthy relationship with food. And so not that we have this fear factor of all of the foods that we're having. So really just focus on moving away from that diet mentality. So next, I just want to show you, this is kind of where Hannah and I have come from and what we were able to accomplish last year through the holidays. So Hannah's picture on the left there, she started program December 11th, and that's December 29th. So you can see her amazing results that she got in just that short period of time, living through Christmas and staying on plan. And then for mine, on the other side, I started the end of September. So I lived through Halloween in October, November, Thanksgiving, December, Christmas, to end up with those results in January. And again, like I said earlier, when I saw my family in February, they were like, wow, what happened? So it's definitely possible to live through these few meals, these few gatherings that we have coming up, and stick to program in the meantime. And the other thing that we just have to say, because we are nurses, is just be careful, be cautious, wear your masks, be careful of how large your gatherings are, wash your hands, because we want you all to stay healthy, and we want you all to be back here on the next time we jump on here and do Zoom with you, because we love you all. So we hope you all have an amazing day, and we hope you have amazing Thanksgiving for sure. We may be back on here before Christmas time comes around, but I hope you all have benefited from what Hannah and I have been able to share with you today, and have a wonderful day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.